When I was young, 13 to be exact, I started to realize that my parents were unfair. I was in denial back then, making up reasons to justify their behavior. Maybe they were overwhelmed, too caught up in their own lives, to plan a birthday party for my sister and me. Perhaps exhaustion had drained them, leaving them too weary to read our favorite books. Or maybe, just maybe, hunger had gotten the best of them, and they couldn't bear to wait for Serene and me to get home. So they started eating without us. I never asked you this, but why are you calling me Kuya? I asked Serene while I combed her hair. We were in the garden. I was a teenager, so I didn't play games anymore. But my sister didn't have anyone to play with. I didn't want her to feel alone. Because you're my older brother, she said, and Marcus is not. I replied with sarcasm. She turned around, looked into my eyes, and forced a smile. I don't think our family gives you enough credit as the firstborn. I want you to know that I respect and love you. I wasn't born until you were 6, so you had no one to talk to about not being the favorite child. She sighed. It must have been so difficult for you. You were just a child. But I'm here now. I see you.
Are you adorned Zarek Vale? Dad asked. He was sitting across the table. I was taking a lie detector test that my father asked us to do. I breathed deep, closing my eyes and calmed myself down because I was a little bit nervous. I had coffee earlier, so I wasn't sure if I'd pass the test this time. No. We've been doing this since I was 10, almost 3 years now. On my first year, I always fail. Every time the machine detected that I was tense, it would give me a bit of an electric shock. It wouldn't kill a human, and I got used to it, but it was still painful. Who is Hunter Vale? I don't know. After a while, Dad invited some strange people to interrogate me. Most of them were scary. Some even tried to hurt me or Hunter, desperately trying to make me feel anything other than being calm. They failed. I haven't felt the electric shock for a long time, and I wanted to keep it that way. The test wasn't supposed to make us tell the truth, but to lie and make sure the machine wouldn't know it. Dad wanted us to practice lying without getting caught. He wanted us to hide our fears and weaknesses. Our family had a lot of enemies, as they would say. I never thought having the largest gun manufacturer would make us a lot of enemies. 17 years later, present time. Lord, please give me a boyfriend. Please. I prayed earnestly in the largest church in Santiago. I've been praying for this for so long, Lord. I'm already 30 and still don't have anyone to marry. I never experienced having a boyfriend as I was focused on my studies. I didn't expect that even after finishing my education, no one would court me. The people I had flings with back then would often ghost me once they found out I was a lawyer. Hey, Hunter patted my back. He's my older brother, and he came with me to church. He didn't have much of a choice. Are you done praying? He asked. I opened my eyes and sat down next to him. Yeah, I just finished, I answered. I paused. How about you? Do you even know how to pray? Of course. What do you think of me? He replied with a grin. He stretched out his hand. Let's go? I just nodded and grabbed his arm as we walked out of the church. We were on our way home. The silence in the car was unbearable. Hunter, what did you pray for? I asked, staring out the window, watching the scenery go by. I pray that your prayers will come true, he said, his attention focused on the road. I glanced at him. Really? You're the only one I'm concerned about. I'm happy as long as you're okay. When we got home, we joined our parents for a meal. Even though we were adults, Hunter and I still hadn't moved out. We didn't spend much time at home either, since we were both busy with our jobs. So, as long as we didn't have families of our own, we'd stay with them. It was already late afternoon when I arrived at the office. I have my own law firm, and since it's a big one, the entire second floor is my personal space. I often work late, and sometimes, when I'm too tired to travel home, I just stay here for the night. It has its own bathroom and a small closet, too. I woke up to the sound of my phone ringing. It was midnight, and I saw Hunter's name on the screen. Hey, what's going on? Are you in trouble again? I'm at Fitz Hospital right now. He was crying. Mom had a heart attack, but she's stable now. The doctor said she's still under observation. I could hardly make out what Hunter was saying as I rushed to get ready. I didn't even bother changing out of my satin nightdress. I just threw on some nipple tape and a jacket. I drove quickly to the hospital and went straight to Mom's room. "Hunter," I called him softly. He looked at me, his tears still flowing. "She just had a heart attack. But thank goodness I wasn't asleep and I heard her. I can't lose her. I can't." I caressed his back. "What did the doctor say?" I tried to fight back my tears. I needed to be strong for our family. "The doctor said Mom needs an immediate heart transplant, but there's only a 50-50 chance of survival. Mom is too old, so they'll have a hard time. She needs to maintain her medications for now. We need Dad's opinion about this. But either way, the outcome will be the same. I don't know what to do. I don't know what's best for Mom," Hunter said. I hugged him tightly. "Let's wait for Mom to wake up, then we'll talk about it, okay?"
The open heart surgery on my patient was finally completed after 8 hours. Her condition was quite complicated, so it was difficult for us. I hadn't eaten yet. I stretched my neck because it was aching. After leaving the operating room, I went to the patient's family. "Doc, how is our child?" they asked, worried. "The surgery went well. We'll be transferring your daughter to the ICU. We still need to monitor her. Let's just wait for her to wake up," I said, explaining more to them before I left. I headed to my office to rest. I wanted to go home or eat, but I was so tired that I didn't feel like moving anymore. It was already 2 a.m. My schedule is usually packed, as I also have outpatient consultations. I lay down on the sofa and closed my eyes. I sighed in relief when I realized that my schedule wouldn't be too hectic in the coming days unless there's an emergency. I hoped there wouldn't be. I woke up when my phone rang. "Hello, Doc. Have you gone home yet?" "No, I'm at my office. We have a patient coming from Bloom Village. Heart attack." "Okay, I'm on my way." I hung up the phone and looked at the time. I had slept for 30 minutes. I quickly headed to the ER to assess the incoming patient. An hour passed, and I sighed in relief when the patient's condition stabilized. As I stepped out of the ER, I saw a man, crying and filled with worry. "How's my mom, Doc? Is she okay?" he asked, rubbing his face with his palm. His hand was trembling. He was pacing back and forth. "I can't lose my mom. I need to call my sister," he murmured. "You're Hunter Vale, the son of the patient, yes? Her condition is stable now. We just need to wait for her to wake up within 24 hours. She'll need to take the prescribed medications and undergo a heart transplant, but it will be tricky because of her age. It's a 50-50 chance." The man's face paled, and he wiped his tears again. "I love this profession, but I hate seeing the families of my patients in despair. It pains me for them. I didn't want him to know that I was affected, so I quickly said goodbye. I went back to my office. I was about to close my eyes when my phone suddenly rang. I didn't check who was calling and immediately brought the phone to my ear. "Hello. It's Marcus, your brother." I chuckled softly. "Hi, Marcus. Are you busy?" "Not anymore." "Why? Do you need something?" "Jarziah wants to talk to you. I've been calling you for a while, but you haven't answered. Just text me when you're free. And by the way, my kids want to see you." I straightened myself up. "I just had an 8-hour surgery, then an emergency right after. I'll come by your house later for lunch." My eyes felt heavier. "It's okay. I know you're tired. Just sleep the whole day, and we'll go to your place instead," Marcus said, clearly concerned. "Your wife is pregnant." "I'll go there, and I want to see my niece and nephew too. I've been waiting for this moment for 6 years." "Marcus, I'm fine with coming by later for lunch," I said, fighting off sleep. "I really need to." I jumped in surprise when my phone suddenly alarmed. It was still near my ear. I chuckled softly, realizing I had fallen asleep while talking to Marcus earlier. It was already 5 in the morning, and I quickly got ready to go home. When I arrived at the house, I saw Tatay George with a wide smile, waving at me. I immediately greeted him with a hug. "Tay, have you been outside since earlier?" "Yes, Anak. I've been waiting for you." You should have waited inside. It's so cold out here. You might get sick. When was the last time you ate? Yesterday. I opened the door and helped Tatay George sit down. What time? Around lunchtime. Goodness, you're as hard-headed as me, it seems, he joked. Good thing you came home now. I cooked breakfast. Thank you, Tay. We ate together. I've been with Tatay for almost 5 years now. Ever since then, I've considered him my father. His house isn't far from mine, maybe just a 3 to 5 minute walk. I had once offered for him to move in with me, but he refused. I woke up and had 4 hours of sleep. I got ready and called Marcus. Marcus, I'm on my way. I heard Marcus let out a heavy sigh on the other end. How many hours did you sleep? 4. Save your scolding for later. I'm leaving now. Bye.